And we're joined again now by our election analyst, Matthew Owen. Matthew is actually a former political columnist for the Times Standard and also for the Lost Coast Outpost. Matthew, it's not been a particularly exciting election night, and with the results coming in so far, but there's been some surprises nonetheless. What's been the big standout race for you?
The 4th District Supervisor right now. It started off with Natalie Arroyo having a large lead, and that lead is shrinking right now. She has to get 50% plus one vote to avoid a November runoff. Right now, she's at 50.2%.
And it has been going down because it was higher earlier.
It has been going down, so as more votes are counted in the next few weeks, if she gets to 49.9, it's a runoff in November,
which I'm sure she'll want to avoid. But the race I think most people are going to be talking about is auditor controller. That's been very controversial over the last few months. We had Karen Paz-Dominguez on the show a couple of nights ago, and she was defiant, but it looks like the voters have turned her out.
I think the voters spoke, and like I said, they want to bring accountability back to accounting.
Now, Cheryl Dillingham is not really a politician, and I think she's been very open about that, but she is going to bring a completely different attitude to the post.
I think if I don't read about the auditor controller in the coming month, starting next year, effectively Karen Paz-Dominguez is in through December of this year. So starting January of 2023, I don't want to hear about the auditor controller. I just want to know the bills are getting paid.
Now, how do you think that will play out? Because there are several lawsuits that have been filed against her. There's an awful lot of controversy about missing money, etc. Would you think she will survive in post even until the end of her term?
Yes. She'll somehow stall it out, and you know how the system works slowly. And bills will not get paid, and suddenly there's going to be a new auditor controller come January.
So Ms. Dillingham's really got her work cut out when she takes the reins.
I have a feeling when she actually does an audit of the auditor controller's office, there might be some surprises.
Now, there was an anomaly in that race as well, because there was a third candidate who actually garnered, I think, around about 1,000 votes, who wasn't even actually running.
Michael Evanson actually dropped out of the race, but his name was already on the ballot. He got over 1,000 votes.
There's 1,000 people voting for somebody who wasn't actually running.
That shows you how much certain voters pay attention to the actual politics in the race.
Well, I suppose so. Now, what other races caught your eye?
The one that's going to be the close one is the Recorder, County Clerk, Register of Voters. The top two vote getters there, Juan Pop Cervantes and Tiffany, I want to say the name correct, Nielsen, are going to be going on to November, as they're both somewhere in the low to mid-40s. Not sure who's going to take that one. Tiffany's ahead by about 2 percentage points now. But if neither candidate passes the 50.1% threshold, that'll go on to the November election also.
And Supervisor Madrone was very comfortably re-elected.
He won by almost a 2-to-1 margin. Congratulations, Supervisor Madrone. The other one that kind of shocked me was going to be the district attorney's race. Everyone thought Adrian Kamada was going to make this thing close, and I actually thought it would be much closer myself. I thought the two candidates would probably go to a November runoff, but Stacey Eads has got a comfortable lead, and she's going to take it tonight.
Yeah, seems to have done very well there. Now, outside of the immediate Humboldt area, there's a bit of a controversy in San Francisco, which has actually an impact on Humboldt, because the San Francisco District Attorney has been held personally responsible by many in this area for the fentanyl crisis that's been going on, but he is now turfed out.
The voters there decided they did not want a woke progressive socialist being lenient on criminals.
Even in San Francisco?
Even in San Francisco. And in LA County, they're doing the same thing down there. They elected, well, excuse me, there's a runoff now between a real estate billionaire, a former Republican, Rick Caruso, and Karen Bass for LA mayor. So people thought, no, they're not going to vote for a billionaire, but turns out some people do vote for billionaires.
Well, we've seen that somewhere before. It sounds a little
somewhere
bit
in the back of my brain, I remember that.
And then in all the state offices in the primaries, there were no surprises at all.
The only surprise so far is going to be in the controller's race, the state controller's race, where a Republican is going to be the top vote getter, but that's because there's 4 Democrats running for it. But come November, when they split out, those 4 Democrats will consolidate all those things, and I suppose the Republican will still get his same 32%. Just now, the Democrat candidate's going to get the 68%.
Okay. Well, Matthew, it's been great having you with us as our election analyst. Thank you so much. We'll maybe see you in November or on the next local election here in Humboldt County.
We'll see it here. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Erica, back to you.